Live at Lunch is produced by KRFC 88.9 FM in the Ginger and Baker Studio in Fort Collins, Colorado, and supported by the Music District, a music-centric gathering place to cultivate talents, support professional development, and encourage connections. Welcome to a very special Live at Lunch on location in Old Town Fort Collins with a live audience at Ginger and Baker. I'm your host today, David V. Thanks for joining us. And I am very excited, and KRFC is proud to present our special guest today, Liz Barnez.
Truth today. I can hear it. It's over. Gotta find a way to let you go. Listen to October. What's gone gonna blow away in the winter. What's
Liz Barnez here on KRFC's Live at Lunch.
Really live.
Yes, extremely live today. So how did a young lady in the 1980s find her way from New Orleans all the way to Fort Collins? What was the motivation there instead of Austin or Memphis or Nashville or
Much
LA?
simpler than that.
Yeah?
It was a relationship.
Okay. That's
Love.
what brought you up here, huh?
Yeah.
How did you find the music scene in the 80s? I remember seeing you at Linden's, you know, with
Yeah.
full band.
Yeah,
in probably mid-80s, 85 maybe?
Yeah, well, 87 is when I moved here.
Okay, so
December
a
of
little bit
87.
later.
Yeah, so
Uh,
later than that.
see,
But
I'm-
a lot of people placed me earlier than that, and I go,
In their imagination.
yes, December of 87. Well, I was lucky because I moved up here with the whole Subdued entourage, so they were really helping to move the music scene around a little bit. There was already great music here, but they were able to get right in, and so then I kind of eased in with them.
Were you
Followed on their
performing?
coattails.
Did you perform and play with them down there in New Orleans too?
I didn't play with them, but I played with one of them. But
That's another story.
it's
for
another story.
time.
Can we talk about that on here? No, but I was at their second gig ever. So I was at the second Subdudes gig ever at the Maple Leaf. But Steve Amadei, the drummer, and I were in a cover band together, and we were playing on Bourbon Street, and I was doing like songs way out of my range, thinking I was Whitney Houston and Tina Turner, and it didn't work, as you can see. I was more like Barry White.
There's nothing wrong with that.
That's another one.
So, again, New Orleans, it just seems like such a musical place, magical place. And I know you go back a lot and play and have friends and family there. But still a pretty drastic move up to Colorado for everyone involved, I would say.
Yeah, it was. I was 23 at the time and had never left home. So I was one of those sheltered Catholic girls. Well, not so sheltered, but. So it was a culture shift and such a great one. I mean, it was really great to come here, and there was a hungry audience for music. So a lot of folks who were starting out at the time had an audience that was ready to hear some music, and we got to really develop. It felt like there was room for developing music and songs, and easy gigs where it wasn't so stressed. You could go to a bar, Linden's, play songs that I just wrote this song, teach it to the band and sound check and play it and kind of flesh things out. But Kerry Moran was just playing at that time too.
With the Atoll?
No, just solo.
Solo?
Actually, he was doing this solo acoustic stuff, which was awesome, which he has now returned to.
Yeah. And been successful, very successful.
Really? Yes.
Well, that was Listen to October. Is that off ink marks on the pages?
No, that one is on Welcome Back.
Welcome
It's
Back.
mine.
Okay.
Welcome Back.
You have 4 albums that I know of.
I have 4 albums.
And one's
yes.
with the Mother Folkers.
There's the one with the Mother Folkers, the most carefully pronounced name in show business. And I also did a recording with Ruby, which was me with Rebecca Folsom and Maggie Simpson,
That's right.
which you don't have to go out and get that one. Don't worry.
But you
We
still
were
retain
young.
that friendship, and you
Oh,
still
yeah,
play
we're
with
friends,
those girls.
and there's no insulting anyone,
Yeah.
but it just, we've done better work.
Well, looks like you've got one lined up here, Light Up.
Light Up.
What's the story behind that one?
There is a story behind it. My dog, I don't know why I suddenly got this accent, Ruthie. So Ruthie is one of my dogs, Ruthie and Yep. I love them both, but Ruthie is my soulmate and heart. And I was actually just setting up to sound check for a rehearsal several years ago with some, greats in the area. Aaron Youngberg, Alicia Kraft, and Bonnie Sims were all coming over, and we were just going to work on some stuff. And I wrote this song right before they came, and then we started playing it. And that's just the thought of them inspires me. So, but it's inspired by my dog and what she teaches me, and what dogs teach us, and what animals teach us. That's sad. All right, I'll start this one. It's great to see all of you. I do want to say I co-wrote that with my wife, Lori Daigle. It was her first co-write, but she has since helped me with other ones. So, but she has the real job.
Oh, speaking of Lori, you've in addition to Lori, you also have 2 adult children and 2 dogs.
Yes. Yeah, that was really cool. 13 years ago when Lori and I got together. We knew each other when we were children in New Orleans. We played softball together. We should have known.
By the way, that picture on the website of you two, you're two cuties.
Yes, we were cute. We still are, thanks, Joni. Yeah, we've been together 13 years, and she moved here from South Carolina. We reconnected on Facebook, so Facebook is a good thing. She moved here 13 years ago with her then 15 and 12-year-old kids. So I got to be a stepmom to 2 amazing people, and who are now 27 and 25.
Wow.
And grown-ups. They're more grown-up than
Instant
I am.
family.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Liz, you do a lot of work with Songwriter in the Round, and why don't you tell us a little bit about how that started and how you include the people and.
Sure. So the second Wednesday of every month at the Magic Rat, 7 o'clock. Yes, lots of regulars. So come on out. We create a listening environment where we actually will shush people. We've created a shush wave that goes across the room, which we rehearse at the beginning of the show. But I lived in Nashville for a little while, and the Bluebird Cafe.
Famous
there,
Bluebird.
Yeah, is where the Songwriter in the Round idea started, where you have 4 songwriters and each takes a turn doing a song, and if you hear a harmony on somebody else's song, you contribute. But it's a very spontaneous, collaborative thing, and so I had been wanting to do one in Fort Collins, to host one, and Bohemian, thankfully, helped support us in doing one second Wednesday of every month at the Magic Rat.
That's a great way, I'm sure, for you to meet songwriters and people, other musicians here in the Fort Collins area, but helps promote their career and what they're doing also, I'd assume. Yeah,
and it's a super inspiring for the songwriters. We all seem to get pretty inspired, when we get together, and it's a very sweet experience and vulnerable. Some of the songwriters lead bands in town or in the region, and some come through nationally. We have had a couple of national songwriters, but some people are trying new songs for the first time, and it's very. Here's my heart. Go ahead and stomp on it.
To a live audience.
Yeah, to a live audience. So it's really great to just be there and with people and hear new stuff, and because if we're all working, we don't get to hear each other's stuff, so it's nice.
You do a lot of volunteer work too, just quite a bit. Why don't you tell us some of that?
Well, mostly musically. I mean, it is a way that we can. We as musicians who maybe can't financially contribute to things can give, here's what I have to offer for events. And so, I try to support women, children.
Empowering women and children,
yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
And what do you do with that?
What do I do with?
Yeah, with the volunteer work that empowering women and children.
I play events, so I play some events, and other things too. Like tonight, I'm playing at the Garden Affair for Gardens on Spring Creek, which is a fundraiser for the gardens. And then Sunday, we're playing. All of us are playing for the 1883 Waterworks building on North Overland at 5 o'clock. So that's a public show tonight, sold out.
Is that the first show there?
No, I did one last year. I was kind of the guinea pig. I like being the guinea pig for those things, like this.
Like today.
Yeah, so that'll be Sunday. So just perform for events if I can help support the organization. Sometimes they're not familiar with how to put an event on, so I can help with event planning, because I've done that too.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, Let It Rain's up next.
Is it?
I believe so.
Thank you.
And beautiful song. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the motivation behind this one?
Okay. This song, I lived in Nashville about 14 years ago, and it was a very productive writing period. And I got together, I was staying a lot with Celeste Krenz at her house there, and Rebecca Folsom, and different songwriters would pop over and we would write songs. So this one, I had the idea for the Listen to October, which was from an email talking about politics and campaigning, and polls. So we should listen to October in polling. That's where it came from. But I just thought, wait, wrong song. Wrong song.
Let it
My
rain.
God.
Not enough coffee yet. There you go. It's early.
So we'd get together with these women, and Let It Rain came from, I'm going to try to put this nicely. So it's like some of us like to get all snuggly and lovey when it rains. So that's what it's about. Like, what do you want to do when it rains?
Liz Barnez here on KRFC's 88.9 FM.
I love it.
It's raining so hard, look like it's gonna rain all day. These are the times I wanna lay with you. So let it rain. Let it rain. 'Cause when it's raining outside, you're like the sun shining on me. Mercy from the sky. Slow down, let's take our time and grace me with your eyes. Let the mystery unfold, unwind. Let it rain. Let it rain. 'Cause when it's raining outside, you're like the sun shining on me. Everybody's looking for blue skies, but you and I know where to find a place to hide. Beautiful sleep. Twilight has come too soon. We're tangled and tired. I can't get enough of you. So let it rain. Let it rain. 'Cause when it's raining outside, you're like the sun guys?
it's
I bet you're
just-
about to ask that.
It's about time that we introduce the rest of the band.
Yeah,
and
'cause
I'm
we
going to
don't-
need a little help here. Brian Hawley is on drums, percussion, and vocals back there, who I cannot see, but how you doing, Brian? Eric Moon on keyboards and vocals. And Gabe Steele on bass. And since we're introducing the band, I'm going to ask them a few questions. Gabe, we'll start with you. You're from Denver, right?
Yeah,
You're living in Denver, I should
live
say.
in Golden, but yeah, I operate in the Denver area.
Are you a Colorado native, or did you come from someplace?
No, I grew up in Wyoming, the neighbor to the north.
We'll forgive you. And
That's right. The wind blew so hard, I just came south. So
What got you into music?
I come from a family of actors and singers, and my dad was a cowboy singer like Gene Autry and all those kinds of guys, and I was forced to play stand-up bass with him when I was 15 or something. And
So you play stand-up
and
bass still?
Yeah, and I came to Colorado for college and just started gigging, and here I be.
Speaking of that, you're in multiple other bands, right?
Yeah.
You can name a few, it's okay.
Yeah, not being a songwriter myself, I get to work with lovely people that write beautiful music all the time, and so I play with as many as I can get the chance to. I play with Loveland Steve Manchell, who's an artist who's been here. Another close friend of mine in Denver named Steve Thomas, who is a great pop singer, who I've known for years and worked with him and various others.
So only people named Steve.
Only Steves. Yeah, this is like my favorite
the only
band that's with no
prerequisite.
Steves in it. Yeah.
They've got to be named Steve. So it sounded like you came from a musical family,
Yeah.
and was that the music that influenced you before you started getting into
It's
music?
isn't that kind of a weird thing? You listen to a lot of stuff and you end up playing something else. And I probably was influenced more by pop and R&B music. I had a brother that loved Rick James and a bunch of.
There wasn't a lot of Rick James on the radio in Wyoming.
No, but I think my brother, like when he would play music for me, it was like, listen to the bass in this part, and he was a drummer. And so I just found my way to the instrument eventually, because the only way to play cool bass lines was to find a bass.
And do it.
So,
And you're doing well. What are you listening to now?
oh my God, everything.
Liz Barnez.
Mostly Liz.
Okay.
Mostly Liz. Yeah. She knows. I can not see Liz for a year, and I'll still have her CDs loaded up in my truck, and I just listen to them all the time. So and I'm not joking. She knows this. To play with artists that you would love to hear on the radio or just hear their music all the time, and then to get to be a part of their band every now and then is just amazing. So.
All right. Well, wonderful. Well, Eric Moon, how are you?
Great.
Where are you from? Where are you from originally?
I'm from Boulder.
Oh, really? Colorado native?
Well, since I was 3, so I
Pretty much.
sort of feel like that
Like
counts.
most of us.
Yeah. So.
All right. What got you into music?
Girls?
What's that?
He did it for the booty.
Oh, I thought you said pills.
That too.
Those two.
Yeah. I don't know. I actually, I guess there's a story circulated by my mom, which probably is true to some extent.
Okay.
That when I first went to visit my grandparents, they had a piano, and I wrote a song on that piano, and I thought that was quite a bit later in my life, but she said that's before they'd got a piano or they had any idea that I might be interested in music. And it was a farm, and they killed 3 chickens for dinner. And I was so emotionally struck by that. It's up in Buffalo, Wyoming, and that I wrote a song called "Killing 3 Chickens." And
Let's hear it.
A lovely little love
And
song.
we're going to play it for you now.
it's got the barnyard theme, which goes. And then comes the killing chickens part.
Pretty dramatic.
Yeah, it does that
And
3
we can
times.
buy that where? All right.
So, yeah.
So,
You can download that on iTunes.
So yeah, I've been since a very
after the
early
chicken
age.
killing incident,
Yeah.
what was your motivation? What did you listen to as far as getting
Well,
into music?
I started out playing classical music, and as most piano players do, and that's the only music my parents knew about really at all. And But so I always was like kind of more interested in how music was put together than how it was performed. So I kind of got into composition, and I actually won contests both in performance and composition. But then I discovered jazz, and I realized you could compose and perform at the same time, and I never looked back from that. But then over the years, I got more and more interested in popular types of music, and you know, so I've ended up working mostly with singer-songwriters now.
Well, what's influencing you now? I am getting the jazz influences, but I have some blues and stuff in there too when I hear you play.
Yeah, well, one of my favorite bands is Pamplemousse.
Oh.
Got any Pamplemousse fans here?
Actually, I do know just a duo, and she played their little piano and toy piano on some of their songs.
Yeah, well, now they're hiring crack bands out of LA and San Francisco and putting out awesome videos on YouTube. So, yeah, they kind of made it. And what else am I listening to? I listen to the records by my friend Bob Drake, who has a mansion in the south of France and writes the strangest music you will ever hear, but it keeps getting more and more beautiful and no less strange as the years go by.
Well, nice place to have a friend.
Yeah, well, it is. I want to go visit him someday. I haven't had a chance to yet. And yeah, so, and otherwise I listen mostly to the artists that I'm working with. So Liz Barnez and Megan Burt and Eben Grace are the
All
main
great
artists I'm working with.
local Colorado
right now.
artists.
Yep, and so I just listen to their music a lot because I love it.
All right. Well, Brian, I
Hi.
can't see you, but I know you're back there. Brian Hawley. Where are you from?
I'm actually originally from California, born and raised Northern California, just south of San Francisco.
Nice.
And then was there for a good portion of my life, and then right before college moved down to Los Angeles, and I've kind of been there ever since.
Have you always been a drummer, or did you start out on another instrument?
My first instrument was viola.
All right.
And
Do you still play that at all?
I wish. It would have been a great double.
Easier
but
to haul around than the drum set?
Much more, but not as loud. So, unfortunately, I had to move on to the drums once I found Animal from The Muppet Show.
All right.
My biggest influence.
So with the viola, you must have started out listening to classical music?
It was more when I was really, really young. So, you know, when you pick up an instrument at a very young age, you're not really influenced by a lot of the stuff that's happening. So it was like, oh, learn this. You know, it was that kind of thing. And I was like, ooh, I don't know if I like this. And then I found, actually, when I was a young kid, do you all know what drum corps is? So drum corps is an international large 100 and something marching members. It's like a professional marching band, but they do it on football fields, and they compete at super, super high levels. Well, I found the little baby corps when I was a young kid, and the drum was it. And I started doing that and been doing it ever since. And then later in life, in 1986, I actually was able to march with the top corps, and we were international world champions that year. So we did that, and I was 16 at that age, learning how to really, really play drums. And then out of high school, I'd started drum set, and I'm like, oh, what is this? And it became just now a new thing just to discover every day.
What are you listening to now, Brian?
I listen to, much like everybody else, I listen to everything. I went to school at CalArts for music, jazz performance, world music, and ethnomusicology. So I listen to a lot of world music. I listen to a lot of stuff from around the world, you know, very abstract. But then I'm also very struck by beautiful songwriting. You know, that's how Liz and I kind of met back in the day. And we created our little, you know, vibe together. And just playing singer-songwriter, to be able to play as musically as humanly possible, I studied with a great drummer back in the day by the name of William Kennedy from a group called the Yellow Jackets.
All right.
And,
Who have a Fort Collins connection, too.
Yeah, very, 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 very lucky to have gotten to set up drum sets with him and battle back and forth, and he really, really taught me how to really just play with colors and different things. And then,
Well, that was a question I mean to ask all three of you, too. How'd you meet Liz?
through a mutual friend we met back in the day. And what is this? When was Revealed released?
2005.
There you go. That's when I met Liz. 2005, I was out here in Colorado. I went to her CD release party. And we met at that time. And then not too long later, I came out and lived in Colorado for a minute in Denver, and we performed a ton together. Then I went back to Los Angeles, and then next thing you know, we were recording the Welcome Back album.
What about you, Eric?
Well, I think the first show I played with Liz was that CD release party. Yeah. And how did you find out about me?
We met in Wales recording.
That's right, we met in Wales.
The UK?
We were recording.
UK?
Yeah, not the animal.
No, I can't remember his name, his record. And
Craig Wieselman.
Craig
That's right.
Wieselman.
And he asked me to play accordion and keyboards on his record, and he said, guess what, we're going to make our record in Wales. And he said, and I'm bringing everybody out, and they'll feed you every day, it'll be lovely. We stayed in this gorgeous farmhouse. There was a studio on a farm.
What a great place to record, huh?
no chickens killed.
No,
I think it was really beautiful. And you drove us to a castle one day. It was like one of those tiny clown cars filled with all of these musicians. And everybody was afraid to drive on the wrong side of the road, so you drove us to that
Yeah,
castle.
I was already experienced.
What about you, Gabe? How did you?
I was invited to a project that we won't talk about too much, but it was a mutual friend of Liz and I's named Dave Beagle, a guitar player.
Yet another wonderful
And I
local
have-
musician.
Yes, the legendary guitar player in Colorado, and I've known Dave since I was 19. The band I was in college recorded our first album in Dave's basement when I was 19.
And what was that band?
That was a contemporary Christian band called Colors of Grace. We were from Laramie, Wyoming. And a lot of big bands come out of Wyoming. Lots. And so I've known Dave and played with a bunch of different artists over the last 25 years. And Dave invited me to play on another project he was working on. And then I met Liz at that project. And here we are.
All right. Well, Hold On Me is coming up here.
It is. Yes. I didn't know some of that about all of you, so this was a getting to know you.
This world has a hold on me. This world has a hold on me. No sweet surrender will I see.
you. That was a song written by Diana Jones. I did not write that one.
Okay, I was going to ask, that's a little bit of a gospel influences in there.
Sure. Yeah. It
I'm
says
feeling
Lord.
I'm
It
feeling
says
it.
Lord in it. so
Hallelujah.
I think that counts.
All right, and how do you know Diane?
What's that?
Diane Lord?
Diana Jones.
Diana Jones.
Yes.
And how do you know her?
Nashville songwriter.
Okay,
Yeah.
and so when you were doing some of that songwriting, when you lived there briefly, that's one of the ladies you met?
Yes, she was one of the ones that wrote the song "If I Had a Gun," which is on
Sounds familiar.
one of the records. Welcome back.
Yes. All right.
And she's a great songwriter, and I just love that song. She's sort of Appalachian influenced, not sort of is, and so the way that she wrote that song is very old timey and finger picky, and I always loved the song, and I thought I can make that a little darker and funkier.
Yeah, I got the funk.
And I got Eric Moon to make really dark sounds on that, and then these guys playing their asses off.
That's okay.
But I'm working so hard at this.
It's all right. we can edit that. So, you've been playing since, well, you started playing in bars in New Orleans in what, 16, 17? I guess they had a younger
17.
age to performers could get into the bars in New Orleans. Huh?
Yeah, and if you had your sister's ID, you could get into
There you
bars
go.
at 14, which was, I don't recommend, but
So, what are some iconic places that places that you really enjoyed playing? I mean, you've had a lot of years to, figure out
those are hard
what's your favorite
questions.
places.
I love playing here. I've always loved playing Bohemian Nights at New West Fest. I love playing in the square. I feel so in love with our community, and I've been here for so long, and so I feel that connection. So Fort Collins is my favorite place to play.
Right.
But on the road, I had some fun tours opening for the Subdudes. We did, and House of Blues in Chicago, I think, would have to be one of the tops. That was really great and fun. And
Jazz Fest?
Jazz Fest, we've played Jazz Fest. That was really great.
Wonderful.
Yeah, thanks for bringing that up. Wonder where else I played.
Jarring the memory. More coffee,
Oh.
please.
What's my favorite place to play, Eric? Brian? Brian's back there whispering. Right here at home.
There is no place like home. All right. You've got some gigs coming up here starting next,
Yes.
let's see, we're in August, aren't we?
Yeah,
Almost
my
September.
website is pretty up to date, which is, can I say?
Is that the best place for people to go to get
Yes.
information about you? And that is?
Or friend me on Facebook too, because I'll always post stuff there. But beware, I'll warn you, there are some, political things. But LizBarnezmusic.com. But I'm playing for the Risk Canyon Volunteer Fire Department on September 10th at 12:30. So come to that if you dare.
And beyond?
Yeah, beyond that, I am.
Okay.
playing.
And again, just go to your website. It's the best place. Because Liz does not have the list taped to the floor.
Yeah, right now, and especially this weekend, it's sort of one day at a time.
You're pretty-
and, like, where do I have to be now? Now, where do I have to be?
Pretty busy.
So that's kind of how.
Liz, are you working on any new music?
I am. We've been recording at Dave Beagle's and got about 5 or 6 songs working. And then it's really busy with all those gigs that I just told you about. So,
Any working title for it yet?
no.
All right.
Well, yes, actually.
Okay.
Wholehearted.
All right.
Yeah. It's a song that I wrote, and I think, at this point in life, I do things wholehearted or don't do them.
Well, it's your album. You can name it
I
whatever
can
you
do
want.
anything I want.
Yeah, exactly.
Apparently. I can name it Eric Moon.
You got to put the chicken song on there if you're gonna.
Special bonus song on the CD.
Bonus track.
You're never going to live that down, are you? All right. That's your fault you brought it up. Whiskey Bay is coming up here.
Yes. We're going to bust out the accordion. That's what this,
Wonderful.
that signal was. Oh, we're visual, too. Forget.
And this is off which album? I'm putting you on the spot today.
Revealed. It's almost like the sound comes down from above.
Every band needs a good drummer. I'll
Yes.
tell you what, he's the one keeping it all together
All
back
right.
there.
And I gotta say, I just want to brag on these guys because, man, and all the musicians that I get to play with, I really get to play with some amazing people who just inspire me and take my little 3-chord songs and turn them into songs. And I feel so lucky that I get to play with all of these great musicians around. This one actually has 4 chords.
So-
Well, I've been long gone in the thick of it. Life's been hard fought and I'm sick of it. I'm losing ground 'cause I'm headed down to this rock bottom misery. Only fools thoughts of bravery, and my master is blind to the lonely life, the penalties and the prizes. I am headed down to Whiskey Bay. I'll just let my lead the way. They've been there before, and they remember the way. It's funny how fear floats away on Whiskey Bay. Well, I've been a long time on this assembly line, pushing every part into some kind of rhyme, and this machinery sings a lullaby to these dreams I've sent flying. And I visualize some kind of paradise. I just can't find my place up there in all these dreams that I send flying. They get shot down from the air. I am headed down to Whiskey Bay. I'll just let my blues lead the way. They've been there before. They remember the way. It's funny how fear floats away on Whiskey Bay. It's funny how fear, it's funny how strife, it's funny how dreams, ain't it funny how life, it's funny how time just slips away on Whiskey Bay.
Them boys can sing.
You're tuned to KRFC 88.9 FM, and this is Live at Lunch, a special Live at Lunch here with a live audience in downtown Old Town Fort Collins at Ginger and Baker. And before I get a little bit too far towards the end of the show here, I'd like to recognize our people who are doing the sound and video today. And we've got Colton Boening back there, and Paul Dotson, of course, Andy House. All three of you guys always do a fantastic job with the sound. And also on audio today is, on video, I'm sorry, is Chris Winslow and Eric Delano. And believe me, those guys do a fantastic job. And you can always view our videos on our special YouTube channel, KRFC's RadioVision. Please check it out on YouTube. And you can also subscribe, and that way you will get a notification every Friday when Live at Lunch comes up, and you'll be able to view the videos. And it's good for KRFC as well as the artists. You're tuned in today to Liz Barnez, our special guest. How you feeling, Liz?
I'm feeling really good.
Good?
Yeah.
You're sounding good, too.
Good.
All you guys, great sound today.
And thanks, KRFC, for being who you are, and all your support for local and regional and musicians. We really do appreciate you. Thank you for all your hard work.
Thank you. Coming up is Don't Worry. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Do you think we have two songs left?
We have got about 7-8 minutes.
Okay, we'll do a short version. I'd like to do the other song too, but we'll do Don't Worry.
It's totally up to you. You can mix it up.
We'll do both.
You are in
We'll do
charge.
Don't Worry real quick. I'll tell you the story really quickly. So this is a song written by a woman named Becky Curry, who was in a band called the Rhapsodizers in New Orleans in the 70s. They were pre-Radiators.
Oh.
She was the bass player in the
Rhapsodizers,
Rhapsodizers. And she wrote this song, and she passed away, I think, in the 80s, but Tommy Malone from the Subdudes remembered this song. And when we all moved out to Colorado, he said, "Hey, I got this song that Becky Curry wrote. You should check it out and bring it back to life." And so I've played it for 20-something years, but I still love singing it and playing with these folks because they're amazing. So thank you, Becky Curry, and thanks, Tommy. I also should say Whiskey Bay I wrote with John Magny, the other Subdude.
Some people worry 'cause they don't know how to dance. Some people worry might not get a second chance. You worry everything. You worry your life away. You worry when the sun don't shine, there's gotta be a little rain. So don't worry about yourself. Oh, it's gonna be alright. Everything keeps turning around you. Don't worry about yourself. Be like a bird and fly somewhere where trouble won't find you. Some people worry when there's snow up in the air. Some people worry, feel like they're going nowhere. You've tried everything. The ground keeps slipping away. You sell your soul to the devil and you won't let love get in the way. But don't worry about demons in the night. Some people worry, oh, they never look quite right. You've traveled everywhere. You can't find a settling place. Yeah, you keep some real good friends around. You keep the sun shining on your face. Don't worry about yourself. Oh, you're gonna be alright. Everything keeps turning around you. Don't worry about yourself. Be like a bird and fly. Go somewhere where trouble won't find you. It's gonna don't worry. You better go somewhere that trouble won't find you. Don't worry. You gotta go right here to Ginger and Baker and listen to KRFC and don't worry. Don't worry. That was not a call to action. It was not. Don't worry. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Well, thank you, Liz Barnez. We appreciate it. It's been a wonderful
I really
day.
appreciate it. Thanks for inviting us, and this is wonderful. It's great to see you all. Thanks for coming out early in the day.
And thanks for tuning in to KRFC 88.9 FM and our regular Friday Live at Lunch. But this has been a special edition. Liz, you're going to lead us out with Birmingham?
Birmingham.
All right.
Here goes. Thanks, y'all.
Gotta get out of Nashville now. I'm on 65, I'm southward bound, driving through the night, heading back to Louisiana. Oh, I slept, I don't think I know how that storm has passed. I'm making up for losing time. I'm gonna make it to New Orleans come rain or shine. Oh, I'll get out fast as I can. I'm a getaway driver. I'm a fan. Gave you my love, gave you all that I am, but you gave it back 'cause you don't give a damn. I'll be over you. Oh, I'll be over you by Birmingham.
Thank you for listening to Live at Lunch, and thank you to the Music District here in the heart of Fort Collins, Colorado. Live at Lunch is produced by KRFC 88.9 FM in the Ginger and Baker studio. If you'd like to appear on Live at Lunch, email our music director, David Vacek, at david@krfcfm.org.